Oh, not exactly. Oh. Hey, Whiteboard, are you seeing the energy readings that the circuit's putting out?
I'm comparing the amount of energy put out from a few months ago, and it's astonishing how much power is going through. It's like...
Split the universe at the seams. Yeah, I know. But I think I've seen this kind of energy signal before.
Well, I built the new circ to handle much more energy than the older model. I don't know what the problem is, though.
Well, the biggest question I have is what is this energy gonna do, and what happens if this thing backfires?
The energy seems harmless, but I will need to keep processing it.
And that's what's been infecting my videos, hasn't it?
Alright, mystery solved then. I poured a glass of orange soda, and we do have another episode to look at.
Oh, thanks, Blushy Shy. Well, hello everybody, my name is Robin0928 and welcome back to My Little Robin Reviewing His Magic. And on this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the good, the bad, and what I think overall in 28 Pranks Later. Yeah, probably shouldn't make jokes about what I'm reviewing next based on incorrect screenshots that I got on the internet.
Cut to the last episode of My Little Robin Reviewing His Magic to when we made this mistake.
Mind control episode next time? I can dig it. Wow, was this episode fun. Like, I haven't had this much fun watching ponies in a long time. The general concept of this episode seemed to be reminiscent of the mysterious mare duel, but in this episode they made small tweaks to the plot to make the audience root against Rainbow Dash rather than for her. It's clear to see that the main inspiration for this episode was classic and modern horror. And I personally enjoyed the hell out of this episode. One of the major pluses in this episode was that the color palette is darkened in the back half of the episode, giving a more ominous vibe. I also like the humor of this episode. While at times I could tell how a joke was going to land and it didn't go over well, this episode did have a few legitimate chuckles from me. This episode, again, is very similar to Mysterious Mare Duel, but this shows that Artie actually deserves the treatment she got at the end of the episode. Without that crucial detail of seeing other ponies suffering because of her actions, the premise would have died in the first act. And the twist at the end of the episode, yeah, it's a bit predictable, but I have to imagine it was really cool to kids. Now that I've given this episode its just desserts, it's time to... God, why do I try to do food puns? It just never works.
And the award for the biggest My Little Pony Friendship is Magic for the 7th consecutive year is the Denizens of Ponyville. Congratulations on your not surprising win.
In all seriousness, is it me, or are the citizens of Ponyville just such jerks? This episode is actually one of the tamer examples of this Polishness, but their actions still can't be described as good, or decent, or legal. I joke about this, but it seems a bit excessive to actually psychologically torture RD for excessive pranking. Maybe this is just my inner decent human being talking here, but I don't think that making them think one of their best friends is dead is close to funny, nor is it good retaliation. This comes down to the fact that this episode is rehashing Mysterious Mare Duel's basic structure and one of its problems. While this episode does make the Remain 5's motivation more clear, there's still some pranks that were legitimately harmless and kind of funny. I also have a slight problem with the moral. No, I think that kids should be taught to be respectful about others with their pranks, but I think that this shows a major problem with MLP lasting for so long. The moral of this episode feels so specific and so weak. Not just to the situation, but the moral itself is pretty uncommon to actually happen. A better moral would be to respect each other's difference of preference, with this episode using pranks as its main device. However, the Scaremaster has a very similar moral, and I think that may just be due to MLP being in its 6th season and renewed for a 7th. This episode was a fun bit of fluff in the season. It was nothing really that special, nor was it the best, but the visual flair, fun humor, and a good twist for kids brought it up from some unclear moral decisions and a very specific moral. All in all, a good episode, but not one I'll watch too many Halloweens. My name is Robin0928, and next time we'll be taking a look at the first new Changeling episode in 4 seasons, For the Times Are a Changeling. Wow, that was stupid. It's a dumb episode name.
So, this is where you've been the whole time. Oh, hey Doc. Yeah, we sent you a change of address form, but you didn't seem to get the memo. Yes, unfortunately, I'm still not quite adept at 21st century technology. Why'd you want to see me again? This. How recently were these taken? Taken this morning. With data like this, we're looking at enough power to... Well, Plushy Robin did build some safety measures into the new design. And you really trust him that much? I trust him with my life. That brings me to another point. Here. Have this. Well, I must say, you are fabulous at wrapping things, Mr. Robin. Fine. New coat. I must ask why. Well, I saw you weren't wearing one and figured you could use a replacement. Think of it as a late Christmas present. No, really. Do you think that I am that naive? Think of it as a sign of trust, then. Alright, fine. I'll start looking over these. I'm doing my own research. Yeah? Remember that thing I told you about, running out of time to finish your projects? I'd imagine the timetable's gotten shorter. Well, thanks for the optimism, Doc. Wait a minute, was he wearing my jacket? Ah, hello! You have stuck around till after the credits sequence. My, I am impressed with you. Now, unfortunately, due to YouTube's new policy about title cards, it's all very ridiculous, in fact. I have been asked to close the show for you, so if you would like to click over here is the previous installment of My Little Robin Reviewing His Magic, but right here is a random video that will be most enticing to you. But if you don't want to watch any videos, how about maybe donating to Patreon to keep me and Robin and the show independent?